Welcome to another episode of the Unapologetic Entrepreneur. I hope everyone's doing fantastic today. We have another good one for you today. Hope you're ready. I know the last 2 weeks, it's been crazy, all the way from our guests, all the way to what we were talking about regarding entrepreneurship. It's been 2 strong weeks. Hopefully I can deliver it to you again today. Today, I want to ask you something. Have you ever had one of those weeks where you made so many calls, answered so many messages, jumped on so many Zooms, posted all over social media, went to meetings, and by Friday, you felt like nothing really changed? That's because movement is not momentum. I'll say that again. That's because movement is not momentum. Movement and momentum are not the same thing. A lot of entrepreneurs get exhausted because they don't really see the difference. They get exhausted because they're not building too much, but because they are doing too much of the wrong things. They are in motion, but they are not in momentum. And if you don't learn the difference, you'll stay busy, broke, and burned out. And that's what we're going to cover today on the Unapologetic Entrepreneur. We're going to be talking about stop confusing motion with momentum. Busy doesn't mean you're building. Woo! It's going to be a good one. Don't you just love how the intro wants to play again? Well, it's going to be a great one. I hope you guys are ready. As I said, we're going to talk about the difference between movement and momentum. Let me say hi to my peoples out there first. Let me see who's out there in the chat. We got Miss Francine. How you doing? Francine the Dream. Ola. Then we got Brandon. How you doing? Well, just remember, in order to the premise of the show, if you want to collaborate, you can just go on the chat, ask any questions. We can make this a conversation. Also, don't forget to scan right here, like, share, and subscribe. Guys, let's be part of the conversation. That's what makes this unique. You actually have a voice. I'm giving you that opportunity. But I'm going to get to my notes. Let's see. Did anybody else jump on there? All right. So, good. Thank you. Good to be here. No problem, boss man. So let's talk about it. Motion. What is that? Motion is the activity that looks productive. It makes you feel as if you're really doing something. Let's give you some examples of that. All right, let's look at motion. Motion looks like endless meetings. Some of us know what that means. You just go from one meeting to another meeting to another meeting. They just keep coming, and you feel like you're really doing something besides just going. I mean, you're getting something out of it if you're attentive.
If you're really paying attention, it can serve you. But, however, in a lot of cases, it's just part of motion. Here's one that I feel a lot of people do, especially when they come into our business. I don't know where they get this from, but all of a sudden they go from not only going to a lot of meetings, right? But now they want to start creating and designing a logo. What is that? What are you doing? More motion. You got to design the logo. Changing from CRM system every week. Posting motivational content with no CTA. If you're out there and you're watching, please get involved. I got a question for you. What does CTA mean? I'm sure I said CTA and somebody said, what the hell is that? Come on. What is CTA? Anybody out there? Any takers? Let's see who's out there. Let's go look at the crowd real quick. Let's look at the chat. CTA, what does that mean? Who's out here? Anyone? Anyone? Bueller? Oh, look at that. Miss Cherry, call to action. CTA. A lot of us are just posting and posting and posting. We're putting out flyers. We're telling people what we do. But we're not asking for the order. We're not having people call us. We're not letting that lead into what I like to call MMA. So to me, that's just motion. That's just motion right there. Motivational quotes. Talking about strategy instead of executing. I have a business partner of mine that's all he ever talks about. And he's so accurate about that. He's always talking about you have to execute. I mean, if you don't execute, you're not going to get any results. But we're talking about strategic planning. How long are you going to start planning before you start taking the first steps? Are you waiting for perfection to strike the mind? Recruiting without onboarding systems or hiring people without having some type of system for them to actually get started. That's just movement. Learning without applying. Being a professional student. All these things create the illusion of progress. Now let's talk about momentum, about Big Mo, as we call it. All right. Momentum is the activity tied to something that has measurable outcomes, AKA results. What does that look like? For those of you taking notes, I know that some of you out there taking notes. I'm a note taker, so I get it. Let me give you some examples of that. Booked appointments. You can give me results. If I ask you how many book appointments you have, there's a number tied to it. How many policies have been submitted? How much revenue has been created? How many recruits have been activated? Meaning now they're part of the momentum. How many systems have you duplicated? See, duplication is part of momentum. All right. So you have the duplication process. Follow-ups completed. How many of these follow-ups have been completed? Have you done anything to improve your retention in your business? How many referrals have you generated? All those are momentum, and momentum compounds. See, in my organization, we've been reading a wonderful book, Compound. What? Anybody out there? Who's out there? The Compound Effect. And these compounding things, these activities that create momentum are what generate that compound effect. One winning action creates the next. You can go from an appointment to a policy to retaining, to showing your revenue, to getting a recruit, to duplicating your system. All these things, that's momentum. One thing leads right to the next. Let's see who's out here. Who's out here right now? Let's go to the Facebook real quick. Let me just give some shout outs out here. All right, let's go to chat. All right. We got our active people right here. So you need to know the difference in order to actually be moving the needle in your business. You should be working more towards momentum as opposed to motion. So let's relate this to suggestions, some things that you guys can actually relate to as entrepreneurs. Something that really you can stick your teeth into. Those are all practical things, real world things. Your audience, you're the people you work with are going to really start taking action. And here's the action part. Tracking. If you can't really track it, is it momentum or is it motion? So you can track your results, but you can't. You need to track your results, not your effort. See, effort, it's not really trackable, but you can track your results. Like I said, how many people have you talked to and booked into an appointment? Don't celebrate being busy. This is a suggestion I have for you guys. Don't celebrate being busy. Learn to really concentrate and celebrate on your outcomes. Ask yourself daily these questions. You ready? Let me go to my notes for this one. These are things that you should jot down, that you should ask yourself. How much money has been moved? Remember, you're a business owner. All you entrepreneurs are business owners. You need money to move in order to stay open for business. So how much money has been moved? How many clients have you helped? All right, whether it's with what you sell, what you provide, with education, how many of them have you actually helped? How many closes happened? How many recruits have started? Not just come on. How many people have you hired? If you have a hiring business, if you have a recruiting business, as I do, how many people have you actually recruited that have gotten started? What have you done today to duplicate yourself? Those are things that create what we like to call Big Mo. Okay. See, this fits in. This is what I'm talking about. Let me talk to you about how to create the moving of the needle. All right. I want to give you some things, something tangible that you could take with you today. Let me give you an example. These are some things that we've talked about. Like I said, in my business, and might relate to yours. Okay. We set a schedule of a to-do list. Now we're going to create the momentum in that to-do list. So for mine is making 10 prospecting calls. I want to call 10 people and have a conversation with them, whether it's about what I do to intrigue them to join me in business, or to see if there's something I can do to help facilitate their life, to make it easier. I'm in the retirement business. I'm in the protection business. I do life insurance and retirement. I put people in a better position financially after having a conversation with them. That's what I do for a business. All right. My business helps you gain, maintain, and transfer wealth. I need to talk to 10 people and let them know that. Not text, not send an iMessage, have a conversation. If it's through text, there has to be a send and a reply. 10. I want to do 2 follow-up appointments with people that I either are part of my team, where I can find a spot in which I can help them further their business, or 2 clients, just to see how things are going, see how else I can help. I want to make sure that I attend and be part of at least 1 training. I do more than that in a day, but actually train, sharpen my sword. Iron sharpens iron. I want to be amongst leaders that are leaders of the craft, and I want to sharpen my sword so I can get better. I want to have a recruiting conversation because that helps my business grow. And I need to do something This is mine. This is for me. These are 5 things I do. I want to do something that requires a social media post where there is some type of call to action or creation of intrigue that will lead to another post of a call to action. So let me run that by you one more time for those of you that are writing notes. 10 prospecting calls, 2 follow-up appointments, 1 training duplicating type of meeting, a recruiting conversation, and obviously some kind of content that leads to CTA, a call to action. Let me keep it real basic for you. If it does not move revenue, create retention, or build upon recruiting, it's just movement. It's not momentum. Busy but broke Ben. Let me see who's busy but broke Ben. Have you ever worked on? Oh, we're getting some comments up here. I love it. Let me see who's there, who's out there, real quick before I continue going. Oh, here he is. What's going on, sir? I knew you wouldn't be too far from this call when it comes to Big Mo. Why don't you elaborate on what are your thoughts on that? On Big Mo, the difference between movement and momentum. A lot of people get it different. It's like people running in a hamster wheel think they're actually running. There's a difference between running in the hamster wheel and actually running outside. The distance, you actually get to see how far you come. Yeah, you could track it on a phone on a hamster wheel, but it's not the same. It's definitely not the same. Let's see. Let's go down to where I was at. So you want to make sure that you spend your time. Entrepreneurs lose momentum by consistently changing systems. See, if something ain't broke, why are you trying to fix it? Every time you make a change, you just took a step back. Momentum is gone. You have to start it all over again. Stop rebuilding, especially when something's already working. Stop rebuilding. You definitely lose that momentum with that change. You have to use refinement. See, a lot of people get tired of using quote unquote the same script or saying the same thing, the tedious, little minute thing. If it's working, why are you tired of it? Just keep building on your momentum. One of the things I tell people is to protect those peak hours. See, we have a trainer that came up with a terminology that we all adopted, power hour. There's a power hour is a moment where you just work on MMA or work on your momentum for a complete hour, no interruptions. Shut off the phone, put on do not disturb, and just dial in. Whoever you have to call, follow up on anything that's requiring in order for you to receive revenue. MMA, money-making activities. That's in the realm that you want to have that power hour. That power hour is not to start talking about strategy. You could do that off the clock, if you would, if there's ever an off the clock for an entrepreneur. That's the time to have strategic calls. But while you're dialed in, you have to definitely work on just momentum. Otherwise, as my coach says, they will leave you. Big Mo is a jealous person. And the minute you start giving something else attention, she'll leave you. It'll take a lot of work to get her back. The best hours of the day should be reserved for sales or presentations that lead to sales, recruiting, leading, client service, or more than you can do as far as duplication when it comes to feeding Big Mo. Now, not those lower level things you need. That's I'm telling you, those are the times that you have to do that after 9 o'clock, right before bed. Do those tedious things. That's if you want to push your limit. If you want to push on momentum. Oh, I think I have a comment here. Hold on. Let's see. Okay. You're going deep in your back, bro. Keep. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I just got to give it away sometimes. But I'm only going to give a little today because we're leading to another call. Hey, I think you're gonna be on that one, sir. Let's see what your reaction is. I love when we talk about Big Mo and different things on pushing it. So I'm gonna be bringing you on. I'm writing so fast, my hand hurts. Well, tell me what you want me to bring back to you, Brandon. It's not a problem. I have notes here for you. I'm going to be giving you a few notes throughout this whole time that I'm here with you. I'll tell you what number is it that you want me to lead back? Let me talk to you about momentum. Big Mo is measured every day. Are you moving your needle to the right or are you moving it to the left? See, this morning we had a call about what it is that you do. Everything that you do is going to build a compound effect. So that compound effect could go either left or right. Either way, you're going to compound. The question is in what direction? It works the same way with momentum. See, if you feed Big Mo, it's going to compound. If you don't or ignore it, it's also going to compound. Therefore, you're going to lose it a lot faster. So when you have that momentum, you got to continue to fuel it. What are some other things you guys out there are doing to feed that? Okay, I see you on my phone. Sometimes if it doesn't pop up, I have to look at my phone. Let me see what you got here. I got a lot of notes. Things are hitting home like you're speaking to me directly. Well, I can give you a call if you like. Has anybody I wish I was putting up a lot of people's Facebooks to see how many call to action are going on. Let me get onto this one point. I want to give you guys 10 different points right here. We're going to start with number 1 all over. So people like Brandon could take these notes. Track your results, not your effort. Please don't celebrate being busy. Celebrate the outcomes. Make sure that you're looking at what are the things that you can actually base your results on. My glasses are fogging up. 2, create a needle move, something that creates momentum and moving your needle. Have something to do as far as your calls, who you're calling, who you're talking to. Make sure that you're doing something that actually moves the needle to the right, something that you can measure, something tangible. And if you're using social media, please don't forget that CTA is so very important. Number 3, stop rebuilding what already works. A lot of times we lose that momentum because we start getting bored of the mundane. You got to stay with the mundane. You have to remind yourself that it is refinement, not reinvention. That's what really works. If it's the same script, keep doing it. Number 4, protect your peak hours. Those power hours are very, very essential in order for you to actually move the needle to the right and keep your momentum. Okay, number 5, measure everything weekly, measure it daily, and then look at the numbers and compare, because course correction is needed in your business. You need to have course correction in order to keep momentum going on your side. Remember to keep good habits. Oh, we got some future self. Oh, you guys are disguising your name. You're saying if your habits are repeated daily, would you, what was that? What's your question? Would you like the results? I'm not sure what you're saying, future self, but okay. You might have to repost your statement. So in other words, keep your momentum going where you are measuring things so they become tangible. Excuse me. You know, I have somebody, we had a mastermind in New Jersey. And one of the things I took away is that I need to do better on my tracking. Tracking. It's so important to track your business, because if you're just going, yeah, you can get lucky. You can get lucky and end up at your destination. But can you repeat it again if you don't have the numbers to do it? If you don't know what you're missing, if you're not tracking where you're at. I've missed a lot of things just by not tracking bonuses, just because I wasn't paying attention. I figured it'll work itself out. I didn't know when to turn it on a little more, and Big Mo just decided to leave me because I was ignoring those little things, thinking it would work out. So I would tell you, make sure you do measurable things and track your business. I learned that firsthand. Here's number 6. Use repetition until it feels like it's boring. The boring reps create a breakthrough. The same calls, the same invite, the same closes, same follow-up, same duplication. It's okay because it's eventually going to lead to that breakthrough. If you have an axe and you're cutting down the tree, you got to keep chopping at the tree. Eventually it will fall. What a lot of people do is they get tired and they just fade out on that. Boring, here's one for you, Brandon. Boring is often the birthplace of wealth. It's all within the mundane. Number 7, audit. You got to audit what feels productive but pays nothing. Am I doing every day? Am I doing everything I can every day to make myself feel successful? Or am I doing something measurable that can produce some type of result? The question that you ask yourself will change the result. Now, I'm going to give you a suggestion. This is something you might want to write down. I was going to put it in a pop-up window, but you'll probably see on the payback. I'm going to give you guys 5 books that have been recommended to me throughout time that's helped me with momentum and building my business, with making sure I'm not in movement, but I'm in momentum as much as possible. And some of them we've already read this exact year. One of them is this latest book, The Compound Effect by Darren Harding. That one's going to give you consistency, which is something that's really, really needed. It's going to help you understand that the small wins are more important at times because they lead to the big wins. He's going to teach you how to do measurable things. And he's going to teach you about the psychology of Big Mo. So if there's a book, for those of you that are watching this, especially on the playback, The Compound Effect is the first one. The second one, Atomic Habits by James Clear. This was going to teach you about systems, routines, habit stacking. Your habits define who you are. All your habits define who you are. It's going to tell you about your identity growth. And it's also going to double down on consistency. Here's a third book. Oh, this one was good. The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. The Slight Edge talks exactly about the mundane, about the simple disciplines, about having delayed gratification, getting your mind out of microwave success. Tell you the meal feels better. The meal tastes better when it comes out the oven. About compounding how business grows. And more importantly, the long-term vision. If you don't have the long-term vision, there goes your business. Number 4, this is one from last year. Relentless by Tim Grover. Relentless is it's going to help you understand pressure. I had a whole conversation this morning about pressure and clearing your mindset. That's going to be relentless for you. And number 5, here's another banger, The 5 Levels of Leadership by John Maxwell. That one's going to put you in a different perspective about where you are as an entrepreneur when it comes to leadership, about duplication, developing people, sustainable growth, and driving a culture. Those 5 books right there are gonna help you move that needle. Before I get, and let me see if we got anything here. Hello. How you doing, Miss TT? She can't speak, so she won't be calling in. How you doing? That's not TK, Brandon. That's TT. TK is Diamond. Oh, man. You're lucky she can't talk. She'll let you know about it. So those are the 5 books I would recommend to you guys. Any of you out there that have read them, please put it down on the Put it down in our chat right here. Follow that conversation. Tell me if I'm wrong or right. I have something that in closing for you. Reading those books will help you move the needle. One, make sure you, when you move, measure what matters. Own your peak hours, value your repetition, and execute daily. This is an execute. Anything that has to do with entrepreneurship is all about execution. Entrepreneurs or entrepreneurship is not about being in constant motion. It's about making the right moves long enough for momentum to actually compound. Don't just move, move with purpose. I want to thank you guys today for your attention, because you could have been anywhere else in the world, but you were here with me. So it's been an honor, a pleasure, and a privilege to be with you guys here today. Be blessed.